Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic: colleges don't teach diversity of thoughts. Colleges don't teach diversity of thinking. Now, I say this because I went to college myself. And when I went to college, I majored in STEM, of course. So with the STEM programs, you don't have to get into the politics as much as you do in the social science field. In fact, with STEM majors, we took very few courses in sociology, anthropology, psychology. These are the fields that I'm talking about. If you're good in mathematics and science, STEM is where to go. Now, if you have a good business mind, get into business fields. And the fields I'm talking about are accounting, finance, actuary science, management information systems, computer information systems. Computer and management information systems are on the border of being STEM majors. In fact, they're a step below computer science. But the reason why I talk so negatively about the social science fields and the liberal arts fields is that there is no diversity of thought. In fact, a number of individuals who major in those fields can't find jobs because there's no marketable jobs. What are you going to get in a field of women's studies, LGBT studies, anthropology? The only thing that you can do is become a professor because all those fields are saturated with people getting degrees. Now, you may luck up and get into law school, but law schools are very competitive as well. And we have so many lawyers out there, even lawyers aren't making the money that you think they are making. A lot of us fantasize about getting in front of a judge arguing a case because we see it on TV. But again, TV is not the real world. And college is not the real world. And you have a lot of nutty professors that are spewing vitriol and hate to students who don't see issues the way the professor sees it. And what they're doing, they're giving them poor grades. Well, one must understand that college has become a business. It's become an institution not of education, it's become an institution of indoctrination. Now, I am not saying that you should not go to college, but you must understand if you pick the wrong major in college, you're going to come out with a lot of debt. In fact, with most majors, you don't get a good ROI, which is return on investment. Why? Because the debt to income ratio is so large that a student spends a lifetime trying to pay back student loans. Now, the only way that college can give you a decent ROI is if you start off at a community college where you can take all of your basic courses, pay out of your pocket, get an associate's degree, and then move on to a 4-year college. But again, when you go to a 2-year college, you must know what you want to major in. Now, on a community college level, you can major in different vocations. And I urge vocations such as welding, construction, HVAC. In fact, what I've done, I'm a civil engineer. And I'm realizing that with civil engineering, it is the lowest paid out of all the engineering branches. In fact, construction management makes more annually than a civil engineer, and a construction manager does not have to be licensed. Now, a civil engineer is always going to be needed for infrastructure. But if you want to make some decent money in STEM, try mechanical or electrical engineering. Try trades with inside mechanical and electrical engineering like HVAC. That's what I have moved over to because you can utilize your brain and you can utilize your hands. And you're actually taking theory and you're applying it. But when you go to the social fields of college, You're not taught how to have any diversity at all. In fact, you're taught how to think one way. And this is what's wrong with a number of students who aspire to be social justice warriors. I mean, ask yourselves, what are you going to do with a degree in women's studies, LGBT studies? What are you going to do with a degree in journalism? There's so many journalists out there. There's so many people with English degrees out there. Now, I'm not knocking these fields. If that is what you want to do, go ahead. But it's going to be very difficult for you to find employment. And the result, you're either going to go back home, work a job that's not even related to your field. You're going to live in your mom's house or your dad's house. Or you're going to go ahead for graduate school, get a master's degree, then get a doctorate degree. Now, when you get the terminal degree, which is a doctorate, what are you going to do with that? You'll be a professor. So in other words, you're going to live off the government dole all your life instead of going out to the real world. And because you gain access to academia through regurgitating vitriol hate from your professor in the social science fields, well, now you're going to be a professor and you're going to do the same thing to your students. And that's going to hurt your students because they're not going to have a diversity of thought. Now, college should be a place to educate, teach, should be a place of presence. And what am I talking about when I mean a place of presence? It should be an arena to where ideas come from all sides. That's called balance. But we're taught in America that diversity means nothing. It's agenda that drives everything. It's feelings. It's political correctness. And college is the foundation of all of the social justice warriors. That's why I'm telling parents, be careful when you send your children to college. And if you're spending your money in college or for college so your children can learn something, make sure you find out what they're taking in school. Because college is not cheap. In fact, tuition keeps rising. Now, one thing I will say about Purdue University, President Mitch Daniels, formerly Governor Mitch Daniels of Indiana, he's frozen tuition, and he's done it for the last 6 years. But even Purdue University, I wouldn't take credence in that because there is a lot of red tape when it comes to these colleges. In fact, many of them want your money. Again, they're places of business and indoctrination. And college isn't for everybody. So just because you don't have a college degree, it does not mean that you're dumb. It just means that you're not gifted to go to college. But you have a lot of college students who aren't gifted at common sense. There's a trade-off. Everybody learns differently. The problem is we've grown up thinking that a college degree is the end-all be-all. It is not. There are options. You can go to the military. You can learn a skill utilizing an AFSC, which is an Air Force Specialty Code of Rating, MOS, which is a military occupational specialty in the Army, and get just as much training as you would in college. In fact, in the military, you can get college credits based off of your MOS and your rank. But college has been thrown in everybody's face that it is necessary. And the reason why we have a saturation of college degrees now, because many people have gone to college, they've gotten degrees, and where are we going from here? Well, now you have a saturation of college degrees. People are not going to find jobs because you have more college degrees than jobs. And what does that do for employers? Employers become very picky by raising their standards. And when they raise their standards, they're going to be people who have college degrees that are left out. Instead of ascribing experience in a college degree, now employers are going to aspire degrees, college degrees, and certificates. And if you don't have that certificate, you're not going to qualify for the job. And that's how employers work. But college should be a place of higher learning. It once was. But in the 60s, when the leftists took over, they corrupted it. And a lot of your 60s radicals have filtered their information to other students. The students have maintained their presence on the college by being professors themselves, and the cycle goes on and on and on and on, and they become socialist thinkers. In fact, there have been some professors I've seen on television who really don't like this country, but they have benefited off this country. But they don't want diversity of thought. They will give students who disagree with them bad grades. To me, you're not teaching your students anything, but you're getting the students money. I know I had to go against a few professors myself, and they were glad that I left school, because had I had it my way, I probably would have punched some of these professors out, because I don't like a lot of professors, particularly in the social science arena, because to me, just because they have a PhD, they lack common sense. They lack the idea of someone disagreeing with their stand on a position. It's not about debate. It's not about emotion. It's about sharing ideas. That's what education is about. But when you have professors and you have a socialist agenda and you have college that's a big business that's influencing the thought, well, you're going to have a lot of students who are going to come out thinking one way. And this is why students have a hard time dealing with the real world. In fact, college doesn't teach students how to grow up. Now, again, I am not knocking college. I went to college myself. But if you're going to go to college, look for a major that is going to be not only beneficial to you, look for something marketable. Now, I chose STEM. STEM is not for everybody. You might want to go over to one of those social science majors, but be very careful. Now, here's how you can get away with one of those social justice majors. Minor in something that is going to be a backup to your social justice major, because I can tell you right off the bat, you're not going to get a job in women's studies. You might be a social worker, but there are a lot of social workers out there, and the best place for a social worker is working for the government. And I'm going to tell you, the government has good benefits, but the pay absolutely sucks, because there are a lot of social workers, and your wages are set by what the market dictates. But if you want to be a social worker, you have to be licensed. If you're going to go into, let's say, women's studies or LGBT, you're going to have to get a master's degree, then a doctorate degree. And what are you going to do? You're going to be in academia. But it doesn't make you smart. And the problem I have with people who are at research universities, and the people I'm talking about are professors who have PhDs, is that's all they know. And they become very irrational when you disagree with them with your thought process. And this is where they're going to try to harm you by giving you bad grades. My advice to anybody going to college is start off at a community college. It's going to be better for you. It's going to cost less. You get an associate's degree. That's an award for taking your first 2 years of college. That's if you are seeking a college degree. Now, the type of degree you should be seeking in a 2-year school or community college is a transferable AS degree. Now, if you're going to go for a career-oriented degree, you go for an AAS. Now, it used to be once you get an AAS degree, you go out to the field and work. And of course, the AAS degrees are geared more toward vocation trades and construction, bookkeeping, which that includes accounting, hospitality management. But those people who get those degrees, they become very successful. And they're successful because they don't have to deal with a lot of debt. And that's the problem with colleges. That's why I say everybody is not gifted to go to college. Now, you must also think about college, if that's where you want to go, in high school. So keeping your grades up, participate in activities, and I'm talking about not only academia, but are you on a school newspaper? Are you playing football? Because when you fill out that college application, you're going to be asked those questions. But again, I'm not here to pick on anybody who wants to go to college. I just believe that we make too much of a big deal about college, and everybody is not gifted to go to college. That's why I said a college degree is not end all be all. What's an end all be all is how you learn to understand the real world as a man or a woman. And that's what I'm trying to teach you with my videos, to utilize common sense. Because you can go to college, but if you don't learn the common sense, you're going to be just as bad as someone who has never gone to college, but they live in the real world and they don't understand the real world. College is a tool. It's a tool that can get you a little further than somebody in the professional world who doesn't have a degree. But it doesn't make you smarter than a person who doesn't have a degree. In fact, you have individuals out here yelling about how educated they are because they walk around with a piece of paper thinking that they're better than somebody who doesn't have a piece of paper. Well, let me tell you something, you're not educated. You are book smart, and you're only book smart in the curriculum that you studied in school. Because I've talked with a number of individuals who have gone to college. They may sound intelligent, but their actions aren't intelligent. They don't use common sense. They make poor decisions. But going to college was in their mind. They still believe that they're smart because they talk properly with good diction and they have a college degree. Again, you're not living in the real world. Remember, college is a tool. It's a good tool, but you have to use it correctly. It's just like social media and cell phones. If you go off on the deep end using the devices of technology wrong, what's going to happen? Well, number one, you could hurt yourself economically by not getting a job, because employers will check your Facebook page for the activity that they see on your page. Well, when it comes to a college degree, some employers do look at the type of college degree that you have gone for. That's why if you have a liberal arts degree or interdisciplinary studies degree, you should add a major with something that you know how to do, and it should be marketable, or you don't go to college at all. But is college worth it? College is worth it, but it depends on the person. Not everybody can go to college. But the people who can't go to college, they can go to the military. They can learn a specialty there, and they can go to college at a later date. I think that this country puts too much emphasis on going to college. And many people who have gone to college, you look at them now, they're still living at home. Why? Because they got college degrees that weren't marketable. And also, what college doesn't teach, it doesn't teach you social skills like being in front of an employer face to face. We deal with too much technology. Now, there are some colleges who have career and planning centers where you can go learn to write resumes. They have internships. So those are tools that you must utilize if you're going to understand how the work world works. But colleges won't tell you that. You as a student have to understand that yourself. Again, college is a tool, but is it worth it? The answer to that, it depends on the person. I'm reviewing that because there are going to be some people who have college degrees. They're going to come on my page. They're going to think I'm bashing college. No, I'm not bashing college. I'm just telling you the truth about college. And one thing about me, I only settle for the truth. And I can talk about this topic because I've gone to college myself. I'm a civil engineer. I have 2 master's degrees. And I can tell you right now, I'm not making the money that I believe I should be making. Now, whose fault is that? Because just because you go to college, you have to continually educate yourself. That means taking extra credits, getting certificates. That's what college doesn't tell you. You have to find all this out on your own. So you have to continue to be your own successor of taking coursework. And coursework costs a lot of money. Now, if you have a business, you can write that coursework off as training. So, that being said, college can be worth it depending on what major you are striving, what career you're striving. But if you're just going, taking classes and you never finish, or you're going and you're getting a degree that doesn't mean anything, you're just wasting time and money and energy. And this is what's happening with people on the left-wing side of the political spectrum. Certainly they got college degrees. Many of them aspired to be lawyers. Some of them became politicians. But if you listen to what they say, they're not very educated at all. They don't understand the real world. They don't understand that everybody doesn't think like them. They have to understand that you need a diversity of thought. And you don't get that in certain majors in college. And I'm talking about your women's studies, your LGBT, your anthropology, your social, or what is it, sociology, those majors, political science. And you have to look at the textbooks. Some of these instructors don't work out of the textbooks. Some of these instructors have an agenda themselves. They're getting paid big money by the colleges. They don't want to teach diversity of thought because they're on the left side of the political spectrum and they want to promote socialism. They don't want to promote capitalism. Why? Because to them, capitalism is evil. And when I hear college students repeat that, I know where they got it from. They got it from a professor. And any professor who is indoctrinating their students with hate, they're evil themselves. And that's the problem with academia. But it's not just academia, although this video is about is college worth it? It's in your middle schools and high schools as well. I did a Google Hangout earlier, and we had talked about some of these topics. And I was on, and shout out to you, C Temptation. God bless you. Seems like things are getting better for you. Shout out to you, Brother Matt Cole. I'll catch up with you. I've been working very hard myself, but I'll make sure I reach out to everybody who reaches out to me. Shout out to you, Brother Real Deal. Shout out to you, Reg the Bad Guy. Shout out to you, Brother Guy King and Conscious Effect. Shout out to you, Brother Arlo Monk. All good YouTubers. Want you to check their channels out because they put information out that is very educational as well. There are my shout outs. But going back to college, is college really worth it? College is worth it if you go for the right major. Now, the right major is going to be determined by the individual who is going to college. But parents, stop pushing your children to go to college. Let your children decide what they want to do. Now, if they're sitting at home playing PlayStation, you got to put them out. And if you enable that behavior and your child is never going to produce, it's not your child's fault. It's your fault. Remember, like the United Negro College Fund always said, it's your future, it's your choice. It's what you should be telling your children. You know, a lot of parents, they have good intentions, but you have to realize that some of these kids didn't take their high school seriously, so they couldn't pass the SAT. Or the SAT doesn't have a pass-fail, it's their score that gets them into certain colleges. So if their score is low, they're going to have to go for remedial education before they can actually take college classes, which that's going to set your child back. That's why you must teach your child that going to school, getting a high school education is very important, because you can take time off and go back to school, but make sure they get a high school education, because when you take that GED, it's going to be very difficult because you're taking a test for 4 years of study, whereas if you spent all 4 years in school and you pass all 4 years, it's going to be much easier for you to graduate. Yes, it's going to be painful because that's 4 years, but once you graduate with that diploma, you can basically rest and then decide what you want to do, but don't take too long doing that. But when it comes to college is worth it, but again, it depends on the individual. And I wanted to repeat this because there are enough people out there who have college degrees. But when you have a college degree, you also have to market yourself. And there are a number of individuals who don't know how to do that. College is to provide you with an education. However, you have a number of colleges that provide you with indoctrination. And the indoctrination is of Marxist thought. So when you go to college, particularly in your first 2 years, if you don't have the money to go to a 4-year college, go to a 2-year college. That's your best bet. But beware of the Marxist thought, because every major is not a good college major. And a college degree does not make you educated. It does not make you strong and independent. Because at the end of the day, you still have to pay those loans back. Now, a college degree will help you get a job. But what is a job? A job means just off broke. You want to strive to get your own business. And you don't need a college degree to get your own business. And again, alternatives to college, go to the military, learn a trade. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you do honorable service and you keep your nose clean, you get yourself an honorable discharge. And that's huge, because you can get into the government sector and work. And when you're a veteran, there are a lot of institutions that take your transcript from the military and use it as college credits. Also, you can go learn a trade. And trades are prevalent. But a number of people don't want to go into the trades. But as for a college degree being worth something, it is worth something. But the real worth is you. You have to be the benefactor of that college degree. And you can't go to college based on what your parents want you to do. You have to go to college based on what is good for you. Because at the end of the day, it is your life, not your parents' life, not your friend's life. It's your life. And if you don't know what to do when you get a certain age, it's going to be harder when you get older and you have no skills. And this is why trades will give you the skills. College degree doesn't give you the skills. It does give you a tool for decent jobs. So you, as the individual, must look at, do you think college is worth it? I already know in my field it was worth it. But what I'm trying to teach is for all the individuals out there who want to go to college. Make sure it's worth it before you make that decision. But if you don't, settle for a trade. It can't hurt you. That can also help you. But college, remember, it's not for everybody. But you, if you get a college degree or go to college and get an aspiring doctorate degree, any type of degree, you must benefit. Because if you don't benefit from it, you're never going to get a return on your investment. Remember, it's your future, it's your choice. That's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Saturday, October 14th, 2017. You can tune into the 401 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I don't engage in debates, controversial issues, or emotion. Now, that just depends on the audience member on how they react to the topic. If the topics are too sensitive for you, don't watch it. But as a whole, I don't engage in any type of drama or unnecessary bickering because it's counterproductive. What I do on this channel is teach, and I give you the information from a positive perspective. Although there is evil, you need to keep your mind open to being positive because that's where your mind will grow. And the more knowledge you have, the more powerful you'll be. Because my job is to continue to teach you how the real world works. And again, knowledge is power. And if you have a topic, a new YouTube channel, or business that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed night. Good night.